Hey guys, Anna here. Welcome to today's video. So to round out the week today, we are back in the world of Forgotten Hollow and we are building a modern vampire manor. So this is another one of our collab builds and this is brought to us by my very good friend Psychachu. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And the concept of today's build, the restrictions were so a 50k vampire manor, but with a more modern take. She really wanted something that was gothic. She wanted something that structurally was more like a tower, I think. Something like a modern infrastructure kind of vibe to it. I didn't really do a tower, but I did really just jump into the game and just started creating shapes. As you know, that's how I generally do my modern builds. And I came up with this. It's like a combination of a lot of curved sections, lots of shapes and what have you. And yeah, so as you can see, the shell is coming together quite nicely. And so part of the concept of what we had, so Psychachu is definitely somebody who builds. She covers a lot of building on her channel, which will all be linked down below, all her socials. And I think it's harder when you're doing these collab builds with a builder because they generally have a very, distinct kind of vibe that they want for the actual house, as opposed to when I do it for my friends who are storytellers, who generally they're accommodating for a storyline. So they're more likely to give me more use of packs. They're more likely to kind of have their houses be furnished a certain way, whilst in terms of like a builder, we want this infrastructure, we want this shape, we want this, and we want this kind of budget. It's such a challenge, and today's build was very much like that. So we did go in with some debug fencing, and I had to do a lot of alt placing. So the curved walls in this house created so many errors when I do the floor plan. So when we come up to that section, you'll see the struggles that we faced. So right now, as I said, I'm doing the debug fencing, and I decided to do like a little curved section in the fencing because I'm actually going to put a pond in there, and it's actually such a beautiful section. So how we end up turning this piece was using the 360 rotation with the Sims 3 camera and an alt placing. So that 360 rotation allows us to kind of angle the fence piece in a way that it fits in nicely. So it's kind of like a hexagon kind of shape. Yeah. So I really liked that. And yeah, we're just doing the pond now. A little bit more about this house. So due to the restrictions of the Vampires pack, and the Vampires pack obviously runs very Victorian. And we wanted like a vampire's house that was a little bit more on the modern side. So I fell in love with this shell. I created it and I fell in love with it. But I knew right away that financially it would be a huge problem. Like this is definitely a shell that would lean towards a larger home, a shell that would, be quite pricey. And the vampire pack, the assets are very expensive. So it's actually a very big challenge to be able to create this at 50k. In hindsight, I probably should have made it a lot smaller. But I did speak to Psych, and one of the things that I did say to her was maybe this would be a home that would be really good for somebody to download and to decorate themselves. Do you know what I mean? I have loosely decorated it, but the decorating of this build is not, it's not that great. It's not to my liking, but I really gave it a red hot go. And I think that what I was able to create is still appealing. And I think the exterior and the landscaping of this build is absolutely beautiful. And I'm so proud of it. And I think that, as I said, it would be a great build for somebody to download and just have fun with and decorate. So as you can see here, I'm placing debug fences on the actual porches instead of using normal fencing. And the reason I had to do that is the front curve section. So I was experiencing so many glitches with the front curve section that unfortunately I wasn't able to place fences. And then inside, when we get to the floor plan, I couldn't even draw walls. It kept deleting that front curve section. So in the end, I had to individually place every fence, and I had to use these these pole pieces of the fence and raise them up and create columns with them and create extra sections. And then we go in with this Vampires Pack Freeze, and it really ties that build together. So the outside of the home is very vampire slash modern. Modern design is shown through the platforms, it's shown through the windows, it's shown through the shape and the roof. All of these things make it kind of semi-modern, but all of the textures, all of the colors, all of the railings, all of the fencing, all of that is very much the Victorian kind of esque Vampires Pack storage. So we do go in with the flooring from Vampires, but we do end up changing it because, to obviously save money. So we use terrain paint in the end. And now we are just painting the exterior of the house. I've obviously gone in with that brick, that really lovely kind of faded brick. We do make it darker. So I played around with color for this build. I wasn't sure with whether I wanted to use that deep burgundy red flooring. In the end, we do change it, but we change it towards the end of the build. So I pretty much go through the whole build of the house with this red, with this grey wallpaper internally, and I just think it's beautiful. I thought this was such a great color combination. And here are these tall windows that I was talking about. So these gave the house a more of a modern feel while still being very much a vampire house, still having that color scheme. And yeah, so a little bit more about build. Okay, I do feel like the decorating of this build. So essentially what's happened is the exterior of this home is really done well. So the actual build itself, the landscaping, which we'll be getting into shortly, all of this is really done really well. And then when we've gone inside, then we've started to realize about the issues to do with the budget. And then basically what I did is what I do in most of my budget restriction homes, start with the basics and then move on from there and just jump between rooms. So a little bit more about this house. So this house is a 3x3 bedroom home. So you have a downstairs bathroom, an upstairs bathroom, and then an ensuite to the master. So there is three bathrooms, which is quite an interesting. I don't normally do so many bathrooms, but that's okay. The bedrooms, there are three. So there is a teen boys room, a female toddler's room, a girl's room, and then the master bedroom. So you could essentially have a family of 5 in this home. Or, if you could play around with the floor plan more, maybe you could have easily an extra bedroom. You could do a 4x3 quite easily. As I said before, there was a lot of issues with the floor plan. All right, so we are into the landscaping. I loved this. I loved using that curved wall as a way to line and shape that landscaping. So I've just gone in with some layloing flowers and those beautiful white flowers that I love from the Vampire Pack. These kind of vine hanging flowers, I draped them over the balconies. I loved that. I thought that, as I said, it adds more focal piece to the front of the build. These white tall flowers in and around the pond area was really sweet. And just kind of at the start of the fencing, just to kind of it's very inviting space. And I really just cluttered the space with flowers and debug. I want them to look really appealing, even though they're a very cheap house. And of course, it wouldn't be a vampire build without the notorious fairy. And I've gone in with some cobwebs, and I'm just going in with some terrain paint in and around the build. And yeah, I really think that it's such a beautiful home, like the exterior. And that this is why I feel that, you could definitely download this house and redecorate it. In fact, I may do that myself, where I may, redecorate this home, and maybe in a later video we can revisit this without, any budget restrictions, without any pack restrictions, and just absolutely furnish this home the way that I feel it deserves to be furnished, because I unfortunately made it too big, but I fell in love with the shell. So yes. All right. So we are inside. So we always start with our stairs, and you'll quickly see, as you can see there, the curved room has disappeared as I've drawn in these walls. And that was the problem I was having. It didn't matter where I drew the wall on the bottom floor, that front area kept deleting and removing. So I had to do the floor plan in a way where I I still had a curved section. In the end, I end up doing kind of like a foyer section. So you'll walk into the build and you'll have like this little room with the stairs, and then there will be an archway that goes into the living room, which is this is the upstairs. And then you follow it around, you have a kitchen, you have a dining, and then you have a study. And then upstairs where we are now, we have, so this part here with the balcony and the archway to the side here, this is the master bedroom with the ensuite. That will be the ensuite, this end bathroom. And then on the other end, you have the toddler's room, which is here in this big curved section with the wraparound windows. And then the teens boys room is the opposite curved room on the other side. And then we just have like a formal kind of like sitting area, which I had to budget so much to be able to use vampire objects in this build in terms of decorating, because like I had no money. Like we're already sitting at 31K. And I haven't placed a single object. I'm still placing doors and windows. I'm still playing around with this. So we're just starting with the kitchen and we're at 32. And the budget is 50K. So as you can imagine, I was already behind the pump. All right, so we are in the kitchen. The kitchen in this home is very basic. I had to do obviously a little bit of cabinetry manipulation there with some alt lacing to be able to wrap those counters around that curve section. I think it turned out nice. I just went with a grey colour scheme and just some really basic appliances. The kitchen doesn't have... I did go with some shelving just because I thought it might be a good decorative piece. But in the end, we do delete that to get some simoleons back. I bring in some green with some curtains. I think these curtains were really important. It kind of ties in a bit of the beige from the curtain in these rugs. And then obviously, ideally, I would have this dining room sectioned off and everything else like that, but I couldn't afford it. And obviously the floor plan was not being nice to me. So in the end, we just put a table there. I do make it a 6-seater table as opposed to, I think that's a 12, or is it 8? It's an 8. Yeah, just because, finances. So the bathrooms in this home are very basic. They are not furnished that greatly. They are just simply furnished. So, there's like tubs and showers and what have you. And then the ensuite just has a shower. So this is the master bedroom. We've gone in with a base game bed. I've used a little bit of base game because obviously it was base game in vampires. But the base game objects, obviously they do have some Victorian objects. So I went with that. So this is why we are jumping. So we are jumping because very much so, like I didn't have a lot of money. So I wanted to place absolutely all of the necessities and then go back. Like we have a Penguin TV. So this is how you know I struggled. Vampire house, Penguin TV, guys. This is what I mean by I didn't do this house justice. I really didn't do this justice. And this is the part where I was like, no, I have to do something that is vampire-esque. So I put that beautiful vampire chase and I put some chairs and just a cheapish bookshelf. And in the end, I do actually have to use using carpet tiles as opposed to a rug. I had to do all sorts of things to be able to decorate these rooms the best I can, and we will see that. So we start off by changing the table. So I go in with a table. I think I keep it glass. Do I? Yeah. No, actually, no. I think I went with this one because of the texture of the actual stands of the table. And I just positioned the 4 chairs around so that it looked a little bit appealing. With a plant, I went with the green to kind of tie in the green from the curtains from the kitchen. I thought that was really nice. And this is where I started going around with carpet tiles just to try to make it look a little bit more appealing. In the end, I couldn't do this. You can see it through the window how the carpet pokes through. I actually have to delete this and put it back to the wooden floors. But I do keep carpet in, I believe it's the master bedroom and that sitting room. Yep, so here's the master bedroom. I've gone in with some tiles. I moved that rug into the boys' room. So this is the teen boys' room. And I wanted to make sure that teen boy had the blue wardrobe because then it ties into his bed, and then the rug ties in with the color. And yeah, and I really loved how that blue carpet just really helped that space in that sitting area that we had upstairs. I'm just fixing the flooring in here. Around this time, I do change it to the dark wood tone. Yep, just doing it now. I think it's better. I just think I don't know what I was thinking with the red, but I think the brown is way nicer, and I do the same for the porches. And you know, I would. In hindsight, I would fully decorate those hallways, and I'd fully decorate every single room. But unfortunately, the budget did not allow us to because the build was so big. But yeah, I definitely feel if if Psych is up to it, I would love to redecorate this home with no budget and just be able to gift her a much nicer home. I do feel a little bad, but you know what? I think it's a beautiful home. I really do. I'm proud of it, and I definitely feel that I will upload it to the gallery, and who knows? Maybe we'll do like this could be like a decorating challenge where like I upload this build and you guys decorate it for me, and we'll see how we go. Who knows? So this is the toddler's room, or the kids' room, sorry. Kid, toddler, kid, child. I just went with a standard girly room. I really loved the vampire flooring for this. The pink was really nice. It kind of plays well with the dollhouse and what have you. So I thought that was sweet. As I said, I'm at the point now where I'm just shy of 50K. So I'm literally going around each room, placing, deleting, just trying to work out what I can put in. And, even if it's an extra window, a rug, a bit of carpet, a bit of flooring, a clutter piece, what can I put in so that this home looks presentable? In hindsight, I would obviously like to put way more. I would do more of a kitchen for sure. It's probably and these big hallways, they're just empty. They're just absolutely empty. All right, so we are into the tour. So this is the home, and it's very empty, but this is the living room. We've got our penguin TV, our kitchen, our dining, the downstairs bathroom, the study. We move upstairs, and then we have that formal little sitting area. I do love the carpet in there. I think it's beautiful, that blue. The master bedroom and ensuite, the teen boys room, and the children's room, the upstairs bathroom, and these balconies. We've got an easel. We've got stargazing, and yeah, that is today's video, guys. I hope you have an absolute wonderful weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.